Hey, Washington, are you one of those people who every election season you're talking about how we've got to get back to in person voting? We've got to put an end to mail in voting. It's ripe for fraud. It's not secure. Is that you? I need you to listen up to this bill of the day because I'm going to need you to take action. Hi, I'm Julie Barrett, and I'm the founder of Conservative Ladies of America and Conservative Ladies of Washington. And I'm back again with another bill of the day for Washington State. Today, we're going to be talking about Senate Bill 5077. This bill was pre-filed this week by Senators Valdez and Riccelli. And what this is it's an act relating to the expansion of voter registration services by government agencies. This bill is about automatic voter registration. What could possibly go wrong? All right, so this bill is going to give the governor sole decision making in consultation with the Secretary of State. So here we're talking about Bob Ferguson and Steve Hobbs. What this bill will do is it will allow government agencies to have an automatic voter registration process. Which state agencies would be covered? We're talking about state agencies that provide assistance services to people with disabilities, people on limited income. It would be local, federal, tribal agencies, including those that handle the naturalization ceremonies. You also have the health benefit exchange, which is for people getting state-funded health care. So you've got most of your state agencies providing social services would be doing this automatic voter registration services if they agree. Okay, they're all going to agree. It's Washington. So how this is going to work is when you interact with any of these agencies. So you go and you apply for benefits and you give them your name, your date of birth, your address. They're updating all that information if you apply or you're just calling in to update or logging onto their website to update. They're going to use that information. They're going to ask you if you want to be enrolled in the automatic voter registration. I'm assuming that's like just check a box on a website, something like that. So you can see already how this is ripe for abuse, ripe for fraud, because we know in Washington, non-citizens can take advantage of and have access to all of these services that regular citizens do. In fact, in the last session, Washington passed a bill to create an Office of Refugee and Immigrant Assistance, and it's been funded with millions and millions of dollars. So they already are giving non-citizens more access to these services. So through this bill, they would be able to, in theory, have automatic voter registration. Now, the bill does say that they would have to be eligible citizens and that they would be checked to be sure that they are eligible to vote. But we know that that has historically been a problem in Washington state. So this idea of having this all run through a website is very concerning, and the potential for fraud and abuse is very high. This bill has a huge concern with data privacy and security. So they say that your data will only be used for voter services, but that's hard to say. The consent you would have to give consent if you are utilizing the services, government services, and you're interacting with these state agencies. You would have to get consent. So again, I'm assuming you're going to check a box on a website, and they say that security measures would be in place to protect your information. I don't know about you, but nothing Washington says about securing anything is very reassuring to me. They say this bill is necessary to increase voter turnout, and it certainly would do just that. But what kind of voters, and would they actually be eligible? This gives a great amount of power and authority to the governor, who will be Bob Ferguson come January, and Steve Hobbs, the Secretary of State. And we already know that Steve Hobbs is using programs like Logically AI to spy on citizens on social media and collecting data and things like that. So there are a lot of concerns in these agencies to begin with, but to have this idea of automatic voter registration is a huge concern. Now, I asked you to listen up at the beginning if you are one of those people who elections is your big issue, which it should be, because everything that happens in our government is dependent on having safe and secure elections. I need you to speak up in Olympia this session in 2025. It is imperative that you speak to the Democrats who are passing these policies and let them know your concerns. There is a great opportunity in Washington state. The opportunity for civic engagement in Washington is actually quite good compared to around the country. You can testify on Zoom. If you can't get to Olympia, you can do it remotely. And this gives you 1 to 2 minutes to speak to the committee about your position on this bill and let them know why you oppose automatic voter registration. And it's critical that they start hearing from the other side. The biggest reason I have gotten so involved in this in the last 3 years in Washington is because I saw that the Democrats had a line of people out the door to testify in support of their garbage policies. And there was no one from our side to give an opposing point of view, which the Republican legislators need that so that when they go into their executive session to debate about the bill and vote on passing it out of committee, they depend on your testimony that they can draw from as points to why this should not pass. Now, you might be saying the Democrats are going to do what the Democrats are going to do. And you're right. I agree. The Democrats are going to do what they're going to do. In the last 3 years that I've been speaking up, I have done so because even though I know that I'm not going to change the outcome, I am not going to let this happen without speaking up. I'm not going to let them do it in the dark, and I'm not going to let them do it without hearing from me. Now, I don't live in Washington anymore. And if you do, I would encourage you to speak up. If you are staying and fighting, then you need to speak up. You need to let them know how you feel, and you need to encourage other citizens to do the same. You can also testify in writing. You can send a written testimony in, and there are other ways that you can take action, which we will be giving you all of those action steps that you can take as we go throughout the session. We'll be bringing you updates on Senate Bill 500 after the session gets started on January 13th. So make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. Be sure that you also subscribe to our Substack, because that will come directly to your email inbox, and that will have timely calls to action for you to take. And I would also encourage you to make sure that you turn on the notifications, because a lot of our videos are time sensitive and you'll want to take action right away. Be sure to share this video far and wide. Thanks for listening. Thanks for engaging. And I look forward to chatting with you again next time.